This is America in Space, a weekly news and information program on current events dealing with the space industry. From the Washington News Bureau, here is your host, Rick Potlock.
Welcome to another edition of America in Space. NASA and Boeing continue to make progress toward the company's second uncrewed test of the CST-100 Starliner spacecraft prior to flying astronauts to the ISS as part of NASA's Commercial Crew Program. The program is targeting December 2020 for the launch of the Uncrewed Orbital Flight Test 2, or the OF2. For Boeing's Commercial Crew mission, the Starliner will launch atop a United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket. If the OF2 flight is successful, the crew flight test will launch around June 2021, called Starliner 1, with Boeing astronaut Chris Ferguson and NASA astronauts Mike Fink and Nicole Mann. Fink takes the place of astronaut Eric Boe, originally scheduled for the mission, but is unable to fly due to medical reasons. Boe will replace Fink as the assistant to the chief for commercial crew in the astronaut office at NASA's Johnson Space Center. This will be Fink's fourth trip into space since joining the astronaut corps back in 1996. Among his flights, he was a mission specialist for STS-134 on Space Shuttle Endeavour's final mission. Fink has spent 382 days in space and has performed 9 spacewalks.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. No single space project in this period will be more impressive to mankind or more important for the long-range exploration of space, and none will be so difficult or expensive to accomplish. We propose to accelerate the development of the appropriate lunar spacecraft. We propose to develop alternate liquid and solid fuel boosters, much larger than any now being developed, until certain which is superior. We propose additional funds for other engine development and for unmanned exploration, explorations which are particularly important for one purpose which this nation will never overlook: the survival of the man who first makes this daring flight.
We've all heard President Kennedy's famous quote challenging NASA to put Americans on the moon, but did you know that that pledge represented a total reversal in Kennedy's thinking? That's right. According to author Richard Reeves' book, President Kennedy, Profile of Power, as a senator, John F. Kennedy had been ready to vote to kill the space program. Kennedy had agreed with then-President Dwight D. Eisenhower that the space program was a waste of money. As president, JFK had been ready to dismantle the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. According to Reeves, the only thing that prevented Kennedy from trying to push space off the American agenda early in his term was the enthusiasm of Vice President Lyndon Johnson, which had something to do with the fact that NASA was headquartered in Houston, Texas. On March 22, 1961, 3 weeks before Russian Yuri Gagarin's historic flight on April the 12th of 61, Kennedy had told James Webb, the director of NASA, that he, Kennedy, had decided against funding Project Apollo. The American moon project was to be put on indefinite hold. But the Gagarin flight, or perhaps the world reaction to the flight, had shaken Kennedy up pretty good. He then allowed NASA to go ahead with Al Shepard's suborbital flight, and when that worked, JFK was ready to deal with space as a political contest. Wow! And that's this edition of America in Space. Don't forget, Tuesday on About Space Today, David Denault will have more news and information on the space industry. Reporting from the Washington News Bureau, I'm Rick Potlock.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to share our program with your family and friends and follow us on Facebook. Join us each week for news and information on America in Space.